In the news this week, the GST fix for WA is finally here, but would mean fewer taxes for you.
Shalom House Rehab Centre at the mercy of City of Swan Council's recommendations.
Illicit drugs seized by police in Perth and Northbridge during Operation Evolve.
And NAIDOC Week to recognise Indigenous women's contributions to Australia.
This is the Evening News.
Good evening. The federal government's overhaul of the GST carve-up has been dubbed by experts as the most bizarre fix they have ever seen. New plans will see WA's share raised to 70 cents in the dollar, meaning a $4.7 billion budget windfall. But will this reform mean fewer taxes for you? Nelson Liu takes a look.
Western Australians have been fighting for a bigger piece of the GST pie, and now the state is set to get its fair share.
We are pursuing genuine reform.
The federal government has proposed to overhaul how the nation's GST is carved up, a plan that will make WA $4.7 billion better off. WA will be guaranteed it gets at least 70 cents in the dollar by 2020, before rising to 75 cents by the middle of the next decade.
We have worked very hard to secure this outcome, and we're very satisfied for the people of Western Australia.
It'll also ensure other states aren't worse off. The state government says Western Australians will benefit from the changes, but hasn't promised it'll mean lower fees and charges.
Everyday Western Australia will most certainly get something out of this standing still.
Meanwhile, the opposition believes the money should only go to one thing.
I suggested pay down the debt.
But experts aren't convinced that it's an adequate fix.
It seems to be sort of pretty basic sort of tinkering with it.
They believe people won't get much change.
They're seeing very little for it, and they'll see very little for it.
States will need to agree to the changes before they can be implemented. Nelson Liu, WAMN News.
Recent disputes between non-for-profit rehabilitation centre Shalom House and the City of Swan have been referred to the State Administrative Tribunal and Supreme Courts, with the fight still continuing. The centre is home to 140 men with serious drug and other addictions across 14 properties in the Swan Valley. Anton Lamakia has more.
Shalom House has been given recommendations by the City of Swan to relocate within 12 months due to zoning complications. CEO and founder Peter Lyndon James said the ongoing disputes are disappointing.
Because we're not a money-generating business, and we're a people-generating business. In other words, we build people, and we actually don't have financially the funds to relocate all of us to one property. So we actually couldn't move even if we wanted to move.
Mr. James explained he started Shalom House accidentally, helping a few men before the program took off and started growing and growing. Despite the program positively changing the lives of those who need it most, he said there will always be negative comments from the community.
The negative comments are coming from people who have no idea about drugs or addiction, but they heard the word drugs, addiction, rehabilitation, jail, and they just say not in my area.
Mr. James has significantly helped so many men from all over the country, and he says he will continue to fight the city's recommendations with no intention of moving.
What if you haven't came here? And what if those people who haven't come here, what will happen to them?
Their lives are going to be destroyed, you know, but they've got to hit the bottom of the bottom.
The decision put forward by the City of Swan is being appealed against and will be sent back to the State Administrative Tribunal. Anton Lamakia, WAMN News.
WA police are stepping up the fight against illicit drugs in entertainment spots after a haul of drugs was seized across Perth and Northbridge venues. More than 3,000 ecstasy pills, meth, MDMA, cannabis and cocaine was confiscated between January and June under Operation Evolve, leading to 15 people charged. Police warn people will be caught if they are dealing in entertainment precincts.
Drug dealers really don't care what they put in it. So as a young person in a club, and you just never know what you're putting in your mouth, and you potentially risk death when you're taking these drugs. To the suppliers of these drugs in the clubs, we've got eyes and ears everywhere. There's closed circuit TV across the Northbridge Entertainment Precinct and across the Perth area. If you're thinking about doing it, we'll catch you.
The City of Fremantle is celebrating NAIDOC Week with special community events for all ages. The NAIDOC Week theme highlights the important role Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander women have played in the community. Fremantle Deputy Mayor Ingrid Wilson explained it's important to educate youth on Aboriginal culture through events like NAIDOC Week.
A lot of the performers and artists are young people, And I think there's and having the opening here at the PCYC is an obvious opportunity to include youth.
The full program of events this week can be found online.
Medicare rebates have increased for the first time in 4 years, with a 55-cent increase. The federal government's rebate freeze was an initiative to save $2.8 billion over 6 years. But the saving measures has backfired, with doctors seeing patients more often to make up lost income. Australians are also visiting their GPs more, on average 6.1 times per year.
A former Navy SEAL diver has tragically died while assisting the rescue mission for 12 boys and a school football coach who have been trapped in a Thailand cave for over 2 weeks. Thai officials say authorities are racing to pump out water from the waterlogged cave. US President Donald Trump has lost his efforts to block 2 California immigration laws to pass through Congress. On Thursday, Judge John Mendez blocked a law requiring the Californian state to amend and review detention facilities where immigrants are held. And that's our weekly news and current affairs. For all the latest, you can visit our website and Facebook page.
From Taylor, myself and the rest of the team, until 8 o'clock next Sunday, a very good evening to you.